Coming up on Network Africa, 499 migrants returned from Libya, the latest to be repatriated by the Nigerian federal government. Authorities in Tanzania say they will not charge 5 pregnant schoolgirls after arresting them over the weekend. And later, the new leader of South Africa's African National Congress, the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, calls for unity among party members. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers. We begin today with stories and happenings that made headlines over the weekend.
Rail service resumed on Sunday, while cleanup operations continue after Thursday's train derailment in South Africa. 20 people lost their lives, with 260 others injured. Some railway workers were seen clearing the wreckage and restoring the rail and power supply lines on Saturday. The cleanup operation will last for about 2 weeks. According to PRASA, which operates the train, rail service was approved to resume on Sunday morning, and a second track is in the works for that line, which will turn it into a double-track railway and hopefully improve the operational conditions of the tracks.
Next week, we are starting with the up main line, and then we will finish in 3 days' time. And what happened now after that, we are going to remove all the scrap here and clean up here, and everything will be normal.
Injured passengers were sent to several hospitals in the town of Kroonstad, and according to the hospitals, most of the injured have been discharged. Elsewhere, Libya's Coast Guard on Sunday recovered the bodies of 2 female migrants who died trying to cross the Mediterranean and picked up at least 250 survivors from 2 boats east of Tripoli. According to the Coast Guard officials, one of the boats sank and the other was badly overcrowded, with survivors claiming several dozen migrants were unaccounted for and were feared to have drowned. The boats were at sea near Garabuli, where departures have become more common since local armed groups began preventing boats from leaving from the coast to the west of Tripoli last summer. In a report by the International Organization for Migration, slightly fewer than half as many migrants reached Europe by sea in 2017 compared to 2016, largely because of a drop in crossings between Libya and Italy. Still on migration, Nigeria's Foreign Minister Geoffrey Onyema is starting flights to evacuate thousands of Nigerian citizens from Libya. 2 planes arriving in the Libyan capital were expected to evacuate up to 800 Nigerians on Saturday.
Our president has made available all the resources necessary
لقد وفر رئيسنا كل الموارد اللازمة
to repatriate all the Nigerians here.
لاستعادة كافة النيجيريين الموجودين هنا.
When we came, we were working around a figure of about 5,500.
حين حضرنا كنا نعمل على أساس عدد 5,500 مواطن.
But the question of numbers has become a bit problematic.
ولكن مسألة العدد أصبحت في حد ذاتها بمشكلة.
So we're going to be working together with the Libyan authorities and the International Organization of Migration.
سوف نعمل بمعية السلطات الليبية والمؤسسات الدولية والسلطات الهجرة
to really get precise numbers.
Nigerians recently were the largest national group amongst the African migrants traveling to Libya and trying to cross from there to Italy by sea. Since local armed factions and Libya's Coast Guard began blocking more migrants from leaving in July last year, large numbers have been trapped in Libya, where they often face dire conditions and abuse, including forced labor. The International Organization for Migration has in recent months accelerated a voluntary returns program to repatriate migrants from a number of countries. Nigeria now joins Niger in organizing bilateral returns.
More on that, Nigeria has sent a strong message to Libya and indeed the international community that it will no longer tolerate its citizens being treated unfairly abroad. Parts of the comments were made by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyema. You saw him there in Libya. He led a Nigerian delegation to that country to get more Nigerians repatriated home. Let's take a listen.
It is first of several trips Max Air Airline will be making in the coming days as it touches down at the Port Harcourt International Airport with 490 Nigerian returnees from Libya on board. The Minister of Foreign Affairs and his team, in company of the Secretary to the River State Government, are on ground to receive them. One after the other, the returnees step out into what is for many of them a new lease of life as they make their way to the waiting bus. Some need medical attention urgently. Others express different emotions, from thanking God to utter disbelief to shedding tears. Some are probably having a decent meal in many months.
When we got to our gardens, the number of cars, the number of helios that left to Libya was 18 helios, but it was only 5 was able to succeed that made it to Libya.
The minister and his team arrived at camp amidst cheers.
We were not going to accept any situation in which Nigerians were in any way being abused while they were in detention. We reminded them that they are signatories to international conventions, that we expected them to have total oversight and control of all those who are guarding our children.
Members of the delegation believe things are moving in the right direction.
The facility in Port Harcourt, which is about 1,000, we can accommodate 1,000 returnees, is available.
The next stage now is going to be the counseling as well as rehabilitation and integrating them back into the society.
If anybody thinking of going on that journey should just perish the thought, because you are not likely to survive it. And there's a deadline to bring them back. Once we bring everybody back and you're still going, really, you're putting yourself into trouble.
Activities go far into the night.
The prison we come was very bad. They maltreat us bad. We don't eat there. No good water, no good heads. They used to beat our boys.
A major concern expressed by officials on ground here is that most of Nigerian returnees from Libya are either teenagers or youths, putting a huge question mark on youth engagement in the country and posing a possible threat to the future of the nation's leadership. Emmanuel Ere, Channels Television News.